In the first video for the Biology Keystone review for Mrs. Wetzel, we are going to be taking a look at our units 1 through 4, which were also book chapters 1 through 4, and those correspond with Study Island modules 1 through 7. That's going to make a lot more sense to you as we start to go through things. This first video is just kind of an introduction to getting ready for what you can expect while we go through the Keystone exam review unit. You do get graded for this, so that's a plus, and it is to help you prepare for the Keystone exam. So Module 1 includes Unit 1, which is the nature of science and scientific thinking. In your reading packet, it says reading packet, that's going to be pages 1 through 12. And then in your workbook packet, which is this thing, that's going to be pages 1 through 4. This corresponds to Study Island modules 1 and 2, and if you'd like to reference your book, it's chapter 1. You also are always welcome to reference any of the materials in the materials section on Schoology, because there's lots of videos and resources there for you as well. Unit 2 is organic molecules, water, and enzymes. Unit 3 is cell structure and function and homeostasis. And then Unit 4 is cell energy. All workbook pages are due on the day that they're assigned in class. So when you're in class, you're working the whole time while we're working on Keystone Review. I will not be accepting late work. The reason I can't accept late work is because Keystone is a set date. It doesn't get pushed back for anything. So even though we have snow days and early dismissals and other things like that, Keystone still happens on the date that it was scheduled at the beginning of the year. So there's no room for me to accept late work, and there's no point in you submitting your work late after you've already taken the Keystone exam. For the Study Island modules, the minimum score that I'll accept is a 7 out of 10. You can take each module as many times as you want. You can make as many attempts as you wish, but only scores of 7, 8, 9, or 10 will be counted towards your grade. You don't need to earn a 70%, and this is important. For each Study Island module, you need to score at least a 7 for each module, but you don't need to make your module average come up to a 70%. So you can stop and start your tests as soon as you fall below that 7, and that's not going to be bad for you. If you're still confused about that, make sure you ask me. The next thing I want to talk about in this introductory video, the introduction to the Keystone exam, is how they score the Biology Keystone exam. For the open-ended response questions, you can get 3 points, 2 points, or 1 point, or 0 points. 3 points shows that you demonstrate a thorough understanding of the content, concepts, or procedures. The response provides a clear, complete, and correct response as required by the task. The response may contain a minor blemish or omission that does not detract from demonstrating a thorough understanding. 3 means you really understood it. It's not that difficult. Number 2 points, the response demonstrates a partial understanding. 1 point for showing a minimal understanding of the scientific concepts or procedures required by this task. This response is somewhat correct. That'll get you 1 point. By writing something, you're going to get 1 point. And I tell you over and over as we go through this, when you're doing your open-ended response questions, make sure you restate the question in your answer. That's probably going to get you 1 point, even if you just make something up after you've restated the question, because you're going to be using some vocabulary, you're going to sound like you know what you're talking about. Just restate the question in your answer to earn that 1 point. We often have kids fail their Keystone exams by 1 point. And I say, did you write at least something for all of the open-ended questions? And they say, well, no. If you don't write at least something, you're definitely getting a 0. If you at least restate the question in your answer, you could be getting 1 point. And that 1 point could be the difference between a basic and a proficient, which means a difference between passing and failing. The requirements that I try to reinforce with you guys as we go through Keystone exam When you go to take the exam, make sure you have a piece of scrap paper with you. As you're taking your test, write down any little mnemonic devices that we talked about in class, write down any information that you kind of gather from some of the questions. Some of the previous questions might give you information to help you answer a later question. Make sure you restate the question in your answer, check your work, and don't leave anything blank. Remember that you don't get to leave the Keystone exam room when you're finished with the Keystone exam. You're stuck there until the end of the session. So even if you finish in 45 minutes, go back and check your work, and then check your work again. You have nothing else that you're able to do except take a nap or read a book. So you might as well use that time to make sure that you got as many points as possible, because you don't want to have to retake the Keystone exam. The next video is going to be going over some of the things from Unit 1, Nature of Science and Scientific Thinking. I have this set up a lot like I have my study guide videos made up, so if you followed along with them in the past, you know what to do. Make sure that if you need more time to write or I'm moving too fast, go ahead and pause the video. The best way to do this is with the earbuds in, because I do drop a lot of knowledge in these videos for you, not just what's written, but my explanations hopefully are valuable as well. So make sure you're using earbuds, you're pausing the video as needed, you're asking questions as needed, and you're getting as much information down as possible. You're getting a grade for your Keystone review work, and all you really have to do is copy the answers down that I give you. This isn't complicated, guys. Let's get as many points as possible. Let's do the best that we can on the Keystone exam.